The judge in this case has already ruled that NASCAR does have a monopoly, but not all monopolies are illegal. The question now for the jury is whether or not NASCAR abused its power to limit competition and harm some team owners like Michael Jordan. Day 2 of the Michael Jordan NASCAR trial just wrapped up, and what went down inside that Charlotte courtroom was flat out wild. Denny Hamlin spent more than 3 hours on the witness stand, and he didn't hold anything back. His testimony got tense, really tense. The Associated Press called it contentious, which is a polite way of saying things got ugly fast, and they did. Hamlin told the courtroom he makes about $14 million a year driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. Sounds huge, right? But then he hit everyone with a bigger number. He said he and Michael Jordan have poured roughly $100 million into their race team since launching it in 2020. $100 million. And the charters they bought just to be allowed to race, the first cost $4.7 million, the second $13.5 million, the third one, a massive $28 million, nearly $50 million, just for the right to show up at the track. Then Hamlin dropped another bomb. He said it costs about $20 million per season to run one single car. Not two, not three, one. And that number doesn't even include the driver's salary or the business operations behind the scenes. So here's the math problem. If a charter only pays teams about $12.5 million, they're already down around $7.5 million before they even turn a lap. Hamlin says that's what's destroying teams. NASCAR's attorney, Lawrence Buterman, came out swinging during cross-examination. He pressed Hamlin hard, asking why 2,311 Racing was demanding $25 million in damages, when that would be a massive return on investment. Hamlin stumbled on that one, saying, "We want to be made whole for what you did to us." But the questioning kept going. NASCAR's lawyer showed emails where Hamlin told Jordan that the charter system in the next-gen car made it the perfect moment to invest. Yet now, Hamlin says those same things are part of a monopoly. Hamlin pushed back and said he believed NASCAR when they promised operating costs would drop by 40%. According to him, that never happened. Costs didn't go down, they went up. Then things got personal. NASCAR's attorney showed the jury that Hamlin often goes on racing podcasts praising the sport. He asked why Hamlin tells fans everything is great while claiming the opposite under oath. Hamlin's response stunned the room. He said, "What I do publicly is put out positive messages. That's my job. You give me talking points. I say it to make fans feel happy." He essentially admitted he can't speak honestly in public because NASCAR will hit him with consequences. He mentioned technical inspection issues, being called to the hauler, and NASCAR simply not liking what he says. Hamlin looked right at the lawyer and said, "NASCAR can essentially dictate how I do." When asked if that meant fans shouldn't trust what he says publicly, Hamlin dismissed it, but then repeated that if he's negative in public, things go bad for him at the racetrack. Another major moment came when Hamlin talked about a 2023 conversation he had with NASCAR chairman Jim France in Nashville. Hamlin said France was eating lunch alone, so he sat down to discuss the charter negotiations. France told him teams spend too much and said it should only cost $10 million per year to run a car, not $20 million. Hamlin told him, "We've cut this grass so short, we're down to the dirt." He asked how he was supposed to recover his investment if he had to cut his budget in half. Hamlin said France had no answer at all. That's when Hamlin realized he couldn't sign the new charter deal. He called it "my death certificate for the future," and said it was the only choice because what they did was wrong. But NASCAR wasn't done. Their attorney pointed out that Hamlin and Jordan charged their own team $1 million a year in rent and showed messages where Jordan's financial advisor called Hamlin a reckless spender and a terrible businessman. Hamlin didn't seem bothered, saying, "Me and Michael, we want to win." Jordan reportedly sat in the front row, grinning and nodding while Hamlin said it. People in the courtroom said Jordan smirked, laughed, and shook his head throughout Hamlin's testimony. He looked like he enjoyed the whole showdown. Then the afternoon session began, and NASCAR executive Scott Prime took the stand. Prime is their chief strategy officer, making about $400,000 a year. The lawyer for 2,311 Racing, Jeffrey Kessler, grilled him about NASCAR's efforts to block any competing racing series. Kessler showed emails from as early as 2020 where Prime warned that a rival series could show teams and drivers they have options. He said NASCAR needed to avoid what happened to open-wheel racing when kart and the in real life split and destroyed the sport. So what did NASCAR do? They locked up racetracks with agreements that kept any other stock car series from racing there. The Las Vegas Motor Speedway contract is one example. NASCAR added a 2-year exclusivity rule that extended even after the main agreement expired, blocking competition through 2026 which is exactly the window when a new series would be most likely to launch. Prime also had to explain why NASCAR prevented the SRX series from using Speedway Motorsports tracks. Those tracks wanted SRX events to make money, but NASCAR shut it down. Then Kessler revealed explosive text messages from May 2024 between NASCAR's top executives. They showed frustration inside NASCAR's own leadership. Steve O'Donnell texted that their approach was dragging the sport back to a comfortable 1,996, calling it a dictatorship and a tiny southern motorsport. Prime replied that their strategy of, "Here's a little money, now go away," was bold. Steve Phelps texted about a chart showing 0 wins for the teams and said, "We are not moving forward." These were NASCAR's own leaders, saying their bosses ignored every major thing teams wanted. Prime admitted NASCAR didn't concede on any of the big negotiation points. Kessler told him straight, "You kept all the power." He also pointed out that Formula One teams get 50% of the sport's revenue, while NASCAR teams get around 20–25%. Prime had even written in an email that teams had a valid point asking for more money. But things got awkward fast when Prime claimed he didn't know details about track agreements and said his job was basically assembling PowerPoint slides.